Hello and welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. I'm your host, Trevor, and we are here for yet another daily talk of stock. And as you can see, I have the green shirt and the green tie, a lot different than yesterday when it was the red shirt and the red tie. And that is because when we look at the heat map here, we could see that we had a very, very green day. So a lot of excitement for investors. Hopefully, if you are watching this video, you participated in some of this rally and got some dopamine from the gains you saw in your portfolio. And so yesterday's bloody day, we were saying that, nothing when it comes to the fundamentals had really changed. So the beef between Elon and Trump did seem like an overreaction from the market having a sell-off, because even though there was the beef and the back and forth, nothing really changed when it came to interest rates, tariffs, or inflation. And so today we did have the jobs report, and there was a beat where then Donald Trump went on the Truth Social and he said, great job numbers, stock market up big. At the same time, billions pouring in from tariffs. And so we know a couple times this year that when Trump goes on to Truth Social and he writes something about the stock market, that the stock market does have a big pop from there. So Donald Trump holding a lot of power with his words, because whatever he says will push the stock market up. A very interesting time we live in, because this is really the first time we've ever had a president that has so much power and voice with social media. And this goes back to Trump's first term, but during Biden's term, he wasn't really the most active on social media. So it's interesting to see us going back to this type of world where there's so much news coming from these social media platforms right here. And so with that being said, we are going to talk about this social media platform stock in a bit, as well as a couple other tickers. But I do want investors to know first that coming into Monday, we are going to have a big day. So mark your calendars for market open on Monday, because we did also get this news from Trump. He said that he is pleased to announce that the Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, and United States Trade Representative, Ambassador Jameson Greer will be meeting in London on Monday, so this upcoming Monday on June 9th, with representatives of China with reference to the trade deal. The meeting should go very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this is some big news, because again, the markets this year have been reacting a lot to three factors we have talked about all year long, and that is interest rates, inflation, and then also tariffs. So just like yesterday, how we were saying, even though it was a bit of a bloody day, it was just a knee-jerk reaction and none of the fundamentals changed. Well, with Monday, we may see some serious positive catalysts that could really push the markets forward. And so, of course, if you were going to invest into the markets, you are going to need a brokerage to do so. So we're going to start out this video with talking about this brokerage's stock right here, and that is Robinhood. And so with Robinhood, we have seen a lot of momentum this last year. So since the bottom coming around Liberation Day, we have seen more than a 120% rise in Robinhood up to all-time highs, and we saw an all-time high around $77.50 today. So a lot of momentum going into Robinhood. We could see the big, massive upticks that happened today. So a green day in a green day in Robinhood, just like it was in the markets. And so when we look at Robinhood, the reason why we are so bullish on this stock is because of all the intrinsic value behind this play and how much they are doing as a brokerage. So they are really a next generation brokerage. We know with Robinhood, it is really tied in with our culture now. A lot of young people are invested into Robinhood, and just in general, we are now in a society where people don't only invest in their 401ks, but a lot of individuals are becoming their own investors and investing right on their phone. And so Robinhood, a front runner when it comes to that sector. A lot of individual investors and new investors flock to Robinhood as their primary investment vehicle. And we could see that with the numbers over time. So when we do look at their revenue quarter after quarter, we could see that their revenue has been increasing. And this company also does have a positive earnings per share and a positive PE ratio, a bit high there. But what is great is we do see that this company is continuing to earn money, as I believe they will continue to do with time, because Robinhood most recently, earlier this week, did acquire Bitstamp. So they completed this deal, only further expanding their crypto services on their platform. So Robinhood becoming everything. They're becoming the all-in-one. You could bank with Robinhood, have a checking and a savings. You could have your Robinhood brokerage account, and you could also even gamble on Robinhood with sports betting. And then also now with this big deal, it only adds to their crypto that they have on their platform. And so with this Bitstamp acquiring that they've done, that also does increase their customer base as well. And then not only that, there is also this big news, and maybe this will be different by the next time I talk about Robinhood. So right now, as I currently record this video, this is before Robinhood potentially gets added to the S&P 500. So by the time you were watching this video, there is the chance that they will be in the S&P 500, because as of now, Robinhood has not yet been added to the S&P 500. However, the company is considering a strong candidate for inclusion in the upcoming quarterly rebalancing of the index, and the official announcement regarding changes to the S&P is expected after the market close today. So I am recording after market close, but we are before this time period here. So it will be interesting to see if Robinhood does get added to the S&P 500, because if that happens, that will be another catalyst and another reason to invest into Robinhood, because right now you can invest into the Robinhood stock, but if they do get included into the S&P 500, that means that a lot of retirement funds and a lot who are just investing into the index funds will be investing into Robinhood stock. And so with that being said, we were talking about how the president is able to move so much of the markets with this platform that he writes on, Truth Social. And so we are going to be talking about that stock, DJT, Trump Media and Technology Group. And so when we zoom out and we look at the stock over the last year, we can see that we are riding right around a major level of support within this stock. So this has been a high-flying stock, but each time it did fly higher than this level of support that it is now currently at, it has fallen back down to this level of support. And so what is really positive is when we do look at this stock just on technical analysis, we could see that we are at these lower levels of support, and then also we are lower on the relative strength index, and then also on the MACD as well. So if you were just investing into DJT, or you were looking to add to your position, this is a good spot to buy just on technical indicators, because it does show that we are looking a bit on the oversold. So this big announcement recently, and so in general, we are going more into the mass adoption into cryptocurrency. We just saw with Robinhood stock how they are adding even more crypto to their platform, and so is the stock DJT, because Trump Media is looking to issue $12 billion worth of new shares. So they are looking to issue up to 84 million new shares, and the reason for this is because they are going to be looking to purchase 2.44 billion towards Bitcoin. So a Bitcoin treasury. And this is huge because in general, again, we are pushing more into the mass adoption into cryptocurrency. We did see earlier in the year the big White House summit where they did talk about putting Bitcoin into the reserves at the White House. And so this right here, a $2.4 billion investment into Bitcoin, is massive, because this will then show up on the balance sheet for DJT, and in general, Bitcoin should only continue to soar as the years go on. So if you are investing into DJT, you have an opportunity to catch some of the gains that are within Bitcoin. But also, I do understand some investors feeling bearish about this, because this does signal that currently This does signal that we will have dilution. 84 million new shares issued for DJT is a lot. And because of this, we do have the chance for more bleeding. This is dilution, unfortunately, but this is also raising to purchase into Bitcoin. So once Trump Media Technology Group does have that Bitcoin, we will start to see that in their balance sheet, and we will see that affect the stock. So if you are investing into DJT, just be aware of this happening right here, because there will be a lot more shares into DJT. But myself, I am staying bullish on this play. I am not concerned about the dilution, because what they will be doing with that investment, and as I have mentioned many times on this channel, I have been invested in DJT since last year, right at the end of September, and I plan on holding my shares through the entire term of Trump's presidency. So this is a long-term hold for me. But talking about short-term action, a stock that has recently seen a lot of short-term movements towards the upside is QBTS. So D-Wave Quantum, a play that we were talking about on this channel earlier, way earlier in the year, and then most recently we were saying right around this spot that we could see a squeeze, and well, damn, the stock really did soar. So we have seen QBTS skyrocket to new levels. It recently was at 52-week highs. We did see a bit of a sell-off, but we have seen a strong recovery from that short sell-off, and a big day in all of quantum computing, and QBTS up 12% today. So we did see a $2 jump in QBTS. And so now when we look at the technical indicators, we could see that for QBTS, we still are close to levels of overbought on the relative strength index. And then on the MACD, we are also at an interesting spot, because depending on where the markets go next, it could really signal here what we may see for QBTS next. Because with the MACD, of course, the blue line over the orange shows positive strength within the stock. And then when the orange does cross over the blue, of course, that does signal that we could be seeing negative price movements ahead. And so right now we are at a critical spot, because these two lines are intersecting with each other. So it will be interesting to see what goes on next. And I do believe that QBTS's next movements will have a lot to do with the macros coming on Monday. And so if Monday does come out with some positive news, we could see QBTS up into the $20+ range. And if you don't know what QBTS is, it is our favorite quantum computing stock because of everything they are doing with their quantum computers. So earlier in the year, we did see them do a magnetic simulation in just minutes. They claim that if this was with classical computers, it would take more than 1 million years. And then also, where we are also so bullish on D-Wave is, as this reads right here, they are currently ahead of other quantum computing stocks in delivering their real world value through quantum computing. And this right here is huge. Unlike its peers, D-Wave quantum annealing technology has achieved demonstrated performance at scale. And so what they use is annealing quantum computing instead of gate model quantum computing. And so if you look back at the history of quantum computing, over a decade ago, D-Wave Quantum decided to put their energy towards annealing quantum computing opposed to gate model quantum computing, which is what the rest of the quantum computing stocks did. And so there is still a lot of intrinsic value behind gate model quantum computing, but annealing is more in real world use today. So D-Wave works with a lot of different commercial clients, and they are continuing to grow quarter after quarter. We saw that their last quarter, they had one of their biggest revenues yet, while they have increased their bookings significantly most recently. And so this is our favorite annealing quantum computer play, and our favorite gate model quantum computer play also has some intrinsic value: quantum computing, QBTS. And so when we go and we look at, QUBT quantum computing, we were just talking about QBTS. And when we look at QUBT, we could see they also had a big day today, up 15%, jumped by over $1.80. And we could see just to get to the 52-week high would signal a 90% jump up from where we are at right now. And so with QUBT, something to look for, just like we were talking about Robinhood possibly being included into the S&P 500. Well, it is official that quantum computing is set to join the Russell 2000 and 3000 indexes on June 30th. So a big event here for QUBT, and I am very bullish on QUBT. They've recently done a lot. They're building one of their quantum computers out here in Tempe, Arizona, which is where I am at. And I could say, just living out here in Tempe, there is a lot of innovation going on out here. There are food delivery robots, there are self-driving cars, and then we have QUBT bringing their quantum computers as well. So currently, this is my favorite gate model quantum computing stock. The company does look like they are making improvements financially as well. So with their last quarter, they did show some good results. And then again, just when we return to the technical analysis, we could see that just to get to the 52-week high, that there is a good chance for a lot of return on investment. And so with that being said, now we're going to hop into our last stock for the day, BigBearAI. And so this is a favorite on this channel, and Big Bear has been on a very interesting trend as of lately. So we could see that we have been recently on this rising level of support and resistance within the Big Bear. So this overall bullish trend towards the upside, and we have been seeing higher levels of resistance. We will see the stock rise up, tap on that higher level of resistance, come back down to a higher low, and then reach back up to the higher levels of resistance. And so most recently, Big Bear has kind of, I don't want to say totally broken out of that pattern, but it is testing right around that support. So we could see in the last couple days that Big Bear has started to become a little bit flat, consolidating sideways. But I don't necessarily consider this a bad thing, because this just helps us when it comes to the other major indicators of the relative strength index and the MACD. So we could see that with these movements, more of consolidation towards the side, we have came back down a little bit on the relative strength index, currently sitting at around 52. So we're not quite at those levels of overbought for Big Bear, neither are we oversold. So literally, just like the chart is showing, we are at that 50-50 spot. But what is big coming up for the Big Bear, and why I think we may see a big skyrocket in the stock coming up, is not only do we have the big news coming on Monday with the trade deal between China and the United States, but also this, and Big Bear investors will know how frustrating this is. So over the last few months, we have been dealing with this. Every time we type in Big Bear, all we see is article after article after article talking about, if you want to sue Big Bear, contact us now. Well, what is positive is we do see that these lawsuits are ending on June 10th. So finally, we can talk about new stuff with BigBearAI. And so this is a positive right here. The lawsuits are ending on June 10th. And so with that ending, that black mark that has been around Big Bear is going to be over. I think most investors don't really care about it too much. It has loomed around for so long, but that is going to be ending, as well as the big news that we have on Monday. So if we go into the markets this next week, and it is a very green week, a very green start to the week on Monday. If Monday is bullish, and then Tuesday the bullish sentiment continues, well, we could see a big skyrocket in Big Bear. I am very bullish on this play, and I am very excited to see what we are going to see in the Big Bear as soon as these lawsuits end. But I would be curious to hear what everyone else's opinions of this, of all these different plays, are in the comment section below. So please drop a comment on if you're invested into Robinhood, DJT, QBTS, QUBT, or BigBearAI, or if there's any other plays that you want me to talk about. I thank you all for being here so much. So please just drop that comment. Please leave a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I will see you guys in the next daily talk of stock.